agenda for a vote to impose a fine on him.
Chris, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
I would suggest this. I would say that tonight it's been made public, and Dave, thank you for doing that, Alderman Baker. And from a historical, right, you have 3 other meetings that you can cite to say, well, we've missed these other 3 meetings. So it has kind of been this thing. I think I would leave it up to Mayor Povlsen before we start invoking this ordinance to touch base with him and find out what his intentions are over the next 2 weeks before our next, well, even next week's meeting for the special meeting. So if you could do that. I mean, that's how I would kind of approach this. I think it'd be probably a better way for us to do this, unless you think it's...
Mr. Wilgan?
I would agree. I mean, if he's got to work, he's got to work, but I'd like to know what his intentions are going forward.
That was my comment.
Okay. Mr. Naylor? Okay.
So he's off the hook on the fine, but we're going to...
Well, he's not off the hook. I may make a determination that it needs to come forward for discussion at the next meeting, and we would vote on it.
Well, it's not what the city attorney asked. We're to decide right now if work is an excuse. If his other job is an excuse. If we say no...
So you're saying that
then
we
bring
have
it
to
forward
determine
and then
that
we
right
vote
now?
on it.
I can't put that, ask that to be put on the agenda for discussion?
The ordinance requires that the members who are present determine whether or not the reason for his absence is a good and sufficient reason.
Okay,
I would determine that after Mayor Povlsen discusses it with him.
Doesn't say when it has to
We
be.
don't get that option, Alderman Tarazinski. We can determine it later.
Is this not similar to any other issue that if 3 or more aldermen request a
Be put on
subject
the
matter
agenda?
placed on the agenda, that it can be placed on the agenda?
Certainly.
For discussion? Yeah.
I have a suggestion. If there's at least 3 of us that are uncomfortable with his other job taking priority over this job, then it should come up for a vote later as to whether we find him or not. And that could be determined also by your discussion and your influence on us. If he can't make the next meeting, for instance, and you're representing.
Okay, I have direction here that I will talk to him, and the other aldermen can make a determination to have this placed. If there's 3 aldermen that like to have this placed on the agenda, it will be placed on the agenda.
Well, do we have to determine that right now, though? Isn't that what you just told us?
What I've told you is that you need to determine whether or not there's good and sufficient reason for him to be absent.
It doesn't say when we need to do that.
She's saying it needs to be now.
Tonight?
It has to be done by the aldermen that are present
correct,
here
right.
tonight.
No.
And I'm reading very literally from here, so that in the discussion, if it is up at the next meeting, Alderman Simpson would not be able to participate because he was not here tonight.
Okay, my proposal is that we decide whether it's coming up for a vote. The only question then would be, are we finding him or not? And I for one, think that the other job does not excuse him from this job.
Right. And that can be discussed. I have clear direction here that three aldermen can determine whether or not this is placed on the next agenda. And if they feel that this, after talking to them, that it's not enough, that we can put it on the agenda. Okay, anything else? Thank you for bringing that up, by the way, Mr. Baker. I agree with you.